As a sequel to the towering Inferno, I'm very disappointed. The Green Inferno is directed by Eli Roth and stars a bunch of disposable actors ready to be eaten by cannibals. And the boy from Spy Kids, which... neat? This movie is about a bunch of activists who fly into the Amazon jungle to stop bulldozers from tearing down the forest. And of course, when they're leaving, their plane crashes and a bunch of cannibals take the survivors of the plane crash to their village. And yeah, you know where this is going. Eli Roth is kind of a mixed bag for me. He's a horror director who I don't understand why so many people like. I like Cabin Fever, that's one of his good movies. But then he has so many bad ones like Hostel. And this one falls into the second category. The look of the Amazon and the village in this movie is great. I love the villagers. They're creepy looking. I love the one that has the two horns coming out of his nose or whatever. That is a really creepy villager. I love the production value. The production value here is really good. This movie does remind me a lot of Cannibal Holocaust from the 70s. And while that movie had a mystery to it as to what happened to these people when they went to the Amazon, and the found footage element was really good, this movie has none of the things that made Cannibal Holocaust good. The biggest problem with this movie is the script is horrid. I mean, beyond belief. Not one single character on screen is likable. Even our main protagonist does something really douchey at the end of this movie, which makes me just not care at all. Even before that, she wasn't really likable, not really charismatic. I didn't really care that much. But as she was the main character, I was trying to root for her. But by the end, I didn't care about any of these characters. The worst is, of course, the lead of the activist group, who turns out to be a giant, unfeeling prick. I'm not kidding. Like, they're being taken into the village by these cannibals, and everyone else is freaking out. Like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? And he's just standing there all stone-faced, silent. And you're thinking maybe he's just trying to not freak out, draw attention to himself too much. Maybe he has a plan even. Nope, he just is an unfeeling douche who believes he will be saved. But no, he's just a jerk. There's even a scene where after someone's been eaten, he's jerking off. Like, what the hell, Eli Roth? Like, that's supposed to be entertaining? It's not entertaining to see that. It's not. It's douchey. And I know we're supposed to hate the guy, but I don't understand why that's there. It doesn't make sense. We already hate the guy. Why do we need that in your movie? Why the hell is it there? He's like, he wants to go to the extreme and really disturb you. There's another scene where this woman has diarrhea and she has to shart all over this corner of the cage that they're in. And these kids are laughing at her when she's making fart noises. I'm just watching this movie like, what the hell? I understand the cannibalism, that's meant to be disturbing. No, duh, that's meant to be disturbing. It's freaking cannibalism. Leave it at that, though. What is with this extra excess of disturbing? What is the point of any of this? Eli Roth seems to be only able to do two things, right? Excess disturbing and terrible douchey characters. And that combo is horrible. You know why? Because if you're going to show characters go through something horrible and disturbing, like being cannibalized, for example, then you got to care about the characters being cannibalized. Or something. Care about a single character. Like, if you want to have a couple douchey characters, okay. But have some for me to latch onto in your movie, because otherwise I don't care, and I'm just sitting there wondering, why the hell am I watching this? These characters are so horrible in this movie, I actually end up rooting for the cannibals to just finish them off so I can leave. I didn't care at all about anything going on in this movie, because not one single character was likable. If I can't like a single character in your movie, you got a problem. Also, there's a weird mix of comedy in this movie. At first, I thought the comedy was just for before they get to the jungle. You know, like beginning, you know, before they get to all the dark stuff. Let's get some comedy in there to at least have you be relieved a little bit before we get to the really dark, gritty part of the movie. That's how stories sometimes work, and I understand that completely. But when they have random moments in the later part where characters do something really stupid that you just have to laugh, it's so weird. Like, there's literally a scene after the plane crashes, the propeller's still going, a guy stands up and he turns around. He's about maybe a couple feet from the propeller. He turns around and runs smack into it. Not like he just turns around and it's right there. He literally has to run into the propeller. And I don't think it was on purpose that he did this. So it was so weird. It's like he literally just accidentally ran into a propeller. And I'm like, why is this here? It's so awkwardly done, just stuff like that. It's so weird. I really am not sure if he was trying to make a horror comedy. Cabin Fever had some humor too in the horror, but it was mixed a little better. But this is like the weird pancake scene in Cabin Fever, and those who've seen it know exactly what I'm talking about. The pancakes. It's like that scene, but even worse in a lot of ways. It just doesn't fit. If you're going to make a horror comedy, you have to make the horror something that's not too grotesquely awful. Something that's a little silly. Like, say, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Or maybe zombies that are clumsily running around after you. Or something like that. Something that could maybe be a little funny. But when you have something as grotesque as people getting their tongues ripped out and you see it on screen and their tongues and eyeballs are getting eaten and God, even worse stuff than that I don't even want to mention in this review. That's not funny, that it's weird and awkwardly put in there, and it just doesn't make any sense. It'd be like making a Holocaust movie, but putting comedy in it. Also, when the villagers first started attacking, there's this terrible shaky cam, and there's even a few shots I swear were out of focus, and that was so bad. The cinematography in this movie is just piss poor. Yeah, sure, this movie is gross. There were a lot of moments where I was cringing watching this movie, just going, biting my fingers almost, like, oh, it's just so hard to watch parts of this. But if there's nothing on screen that makes me like the characters, why should I care? I don't go to a horror movie just to be grossed out. I want to be rooting for someone who isn't the cannibals. This movie is bad, guys. It's so bad, and I'm going to give this 1 out of 5 stars. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. See ya.